Okay, I think I am. And now I'm going to share the screen with you. Let's see. Oh, can you see? Oh, you're all muted, so I can't hear. I think you can see. Okay, I'm gonna um, stop share. Could you see that? Yeah. Okay. Woo, right. So I'm ready. We're ready to do a lecture. Okay. So the lecture today, this afternoon, everything is interrelated, as I said, and we're leading on from the vayus, but in a sense that we're going into the anatomy side of things now, because we're going to speak about the anatomy and physiology of the digestive system, and that's some of that is related to, you can relate the vayus can be related to everything, but we're going to relate it to the digestive system for just now, because the digestive system is important, especially in the sense that I think, is it 95% of serotonin, that happiness chemical, I think it's serotonin, is produced in the gut. So we need to have good gut health to have good mental health too. And then we have the vagus nerve, which we speak about a lot. So let's go into the anatomy of the digestive system. So I'm going to share the screen with you again, and I will start speaking. Okay. So you can see here the digestive system. So it transforms the food you eat and the liquids you drink into nourishment for the cells. So it's fueling your needs for the body's functioning, growth, and repair. And it actually consists of approximately 33 feet of plumbing. I've never really thought of it as plumbing before, but there you go. That begins at your mouth and ends at your rectum. So it's not often that word pops in on a Friday afternoon either. So when healthy, the digestive system functions to break down and absorb nutritious food into the body. And at the end of the day, indeed all day and all night, the ultimate end of digestion is the maintenance of our tissues, the fueling of the energy we require to live. So the main functions of the digestive system are ingestion, which is the food enters the body and it begins to be processed. And then digestion, food is broken down into organic elements. Absorption and assimilation, the organic elements are moved into the fluid that feed the cells and nutrients are utilized. And then elimination. So indigestible wastes are eliminated. So the digestive tract is made up of it's made up of the gastrointestinal tract here, also called the GI tract or the alimentary canal. And the hollow organs through which, so they're the hollow organs through which food is passed. But then there's the solid organs as well, which is the liver and the pancreas. So here's the liver here, quite high up there. So, and there's the wee gallbladder that produces the bile. I don't have one of them either. I don't have a gallbladder or a womb. So or an appendix. I'm really quite empty in the organ department. So and the pancreas and the pancreas and the gallbladder as well. So here's the pancreas here. Okay, so we don't seem to need the gallbladder because I'm doing all right with that, but it does produce it produces the bile for your body and breaks things down. So we have the GI tract. So the intestinal tract here, it consists of the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, and the anus. So I don't know why I put on a weird voice when I said that. So the solid organs of the digestive system are the liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder. So as food passes through the digestive system, it follows the general process. Mouth, teeth, tongue, salivary glands, and the food is broken down in the mouth by chewing and mixing with saliva. And then it goes down the esophagus, it secretes mucus and transfers food to the stomach, continues the digestive process by releasing acids and enzymes and churning the food in order to further break it down, moves into the small intestine. The major events of absorption occur here. And in the large intestine, it completes absorption. It manufactures certain vitamins, and it makes jobbies, so for feces, and it expels them as well. So when our digestion is strong, our body feels light and strong, and we have plenty of energy. So this is working with, so with the doshas, it is pitta, the fire in our belly. It's like, Tejas, we need to have a strong fire in our belly to aid digestion. And for some of you guys who did the yoga and Ayurveda teacher training, you already know that the time to eat the biggest meal isn't breakfast time, as they say here in the West. It is actually between 12 and 2. That's pitta time. So that's the time when your digestive system, there's more fire, and you're going to be able to break things down. Okay, so we can our skin is good, our breath, our body odor. We can have a high resistance to disease if our digestive system is working. So we can assess the condition of our digestive system by apparently looking at your stools. I remember Gillian McKeith, who looks so unhealthy that it's really, it doesn't make you want to eat what she eats, I must admit. And maybe she is really healthy inside. I'm not sure. But let's not speak too much about stools. I could read to you quite a lot about it, but I don't think that's going to really help our yoga practice or our teachings. So let's move into the esophagus. So it secretes mucus, transfer food to the stomach. We're not going to go too much into the anatomy of this. We're going to take it a bit further, but there's just certain little things that we're just going a little bit further with. So with the stomach continues the digestive process, and it's J-shaped. Okay, so we always think of the stomach as being like a little pouch, but it is a J shape. And when empty, it's small, but it can expand to accommodate large quantities of food. So the stomach is categorized into 4 parts. So the first part is called the cardia. So this is the superior, the top opening of the stomach. The second is the fundus, and this is the roundest section at the top left. So wait a minute, let's take you into that. Oof, look at there we go. So you have, there's the fundus there, the cardia, and then we have the body of the stomach. So it's the large central portion, and then you have the pylorus. So this is the inferior, the lower portion. Okay, so it communicates with the small intestine via sphincter. I don't know why I did an impersonation of a sphincter there. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so moving into the small intestines here. So major events happen in the small intestine. So this is a lot of the stuff going on about people speaking about leaky guts as well. There's stuff going on with here too. So I'm not going to read too much. You guys are going to have this in your manual. This is coming from your manual here, but it's quite nice to have this up on the screen to show you. So the partially digested food that passes from the stomach to the small intestine is known as chyme. So chyme is mixed with digestive juices and it's brought in contact with mucosa for absorption. Okay, so the chyme remains in the small intestine for about 3 to 5 hours, and so the small intestine is also categorized into 3 sections here. Okay, but you don't need to know that. If you want to go back and go really into it, I don't want to spend too much time on something that's not really going to be too beneficial to your life or your yoga practice. But I find, biology and anatomy interesting, but is this going to it's good to have an understanding, but we don't need to take it too far. And I know that you've already done you've already done some of the anatomy for the 300 hours, or you're still to do it. But some of this I'm taking a little bit further, or adding stuff that hasn't been done yet. Okay, so this is the anatomy of the large intestine, and here's our solid organs here. Okay, so this is what they do, and I'm not going to read that. You can go back to it, but this is where we're going to start speaking about how stress affects your. How do I stop sharing? There we go. So what happens is that we're going to go into how stress affects digestion, and that's where yoga and your life, it's relevant. Okay, so the smooth functioning of digestion depends on the action of the autonomic involuntary nervous system, especially the parasympathetic branch, which is associated with relaxation and restoration. So stress activates the sympathetic side, the fight or flight system, which can interfere with the bowels. So, so acute stress may have the following outcomes in some people. So it inhibits production of saliva, which negatively affects the initial breakdown of food. So, so even your saliva is affected by stress. So it interferes with muscular action that moves the food to the stomach. It contributes to minor issues such as heartburn, nausea, and more serious problems such as acid reflux and ulcers. And it interferes with the absorption into the circulatory system. It decreases effectiveness of the large intestine and results in constipation or diarrhea. And it inhibits the release of bile from the gallbladder into the small intestine, which impacts the ability to digest fats. So it may make the pancreas more susceptible to disease as well, and affects the diversity of the gut microbiome, negatively impacting digestion, overall health. So the gut is often called the second brain, and it's associated with feelings of happiness and well-being. So the ENS, the enteric nervous system, is a system of nerves located in the abdomen. And the ENS communicates with the brain and can act independent of it. It's often referred to this as the second brain. So 90%, so I said 95, so I think it depends what you read. It was really, when I was down in London, is it Bodyworks, and saw... So professional. Kaya. Yeah, so it was said it was 95% when you see all the actual real organs and muscles and the way the body is made up, and it's really interesting. But wherever you read, it's around 90 to 95% of serotonin the neurotransmitter responsible for the feeling of happiness and well-being is produced in the second brain, which is in the gut, in the abdomen. So when you improve your gastrointestinal health, you're simultaneously improving your mental health too. And I can honestly say from working, I've worked with children since 2003, and I've been a mum for 26 years, almost 26 years. And yeah, I found that if they'd eaten rubbish just before they started, they were less focused. Or they'd have this high and then a slump. The kids that when we did, anyone who's done the children's yoga training with me before will know that we do like children's yoga snacks. We have to go round in a circle and you have to say what you would like, and that what you would like to eat or what you're in the mood for. And by working with that, you find out more than just the food. They tell you other things, or you can tell when they're a little bit sad, but also you can figure out what sort of food that they normally get for a treat or what they like to eat, and you do find that the less healthy ones, maybe the ones that are maybe slightly overweight or less concentration or behavior issues, a lot were the ones that in yoga snacks were asking for the McDonald's and the Coca-Cola and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's not just stress affects the digestive system. Eating rubbish affects it too. And then it doesn't just affect you physically, it affects behaviors and the way you think, and that you're not able, sometimes it can give you brain fog if you don't, if you have that high. Or so anyway. So I've put into the manual, like various different digestive conditions and issues, and it's just for you to peruse over, just to have some sort of understanding of it, because you'll always have. Oh, there's like a bit where I should have. It was a long evening that evening. So there's a bit where there's a bit of a blank page there, but you can still. It's not that you can't read it. But it's just that you will get people who come to you and they do have these issues. I know when I first started practicing yoga, I had IBS. Yeah, and practicing yoga within weeks tamed it, and I've never had flare-ups, but it was something, and it was to do with stress. It was the first time as a single parent. I was in my 20s, early 20s. And it was quite stressful. So I ended up with IBS, and yoga was the thing that cleared it. So so I think any sort of digestive issues, yoga can help with that. And this is where you guys come in as yogis and know what to guide them towards. So moving into yoga and digestion now. So you've spoken about the anatomy of digestion. Let's look at the energy and the subtle body connections to do with digestion. So there's a number of connections that are made between digestion and the functioning of what yoga philosophy refers to as a subtle body anatomy. For example, the nadis are the name given to the subtle pathways that channel prana. So Ida Nadi is linked to the parasympathetic nervous system, which has a direct effect on digestion. Okay, so Ida Nadi is the one that's relevant to digestion. And prana vayus, which we're speaking about earlier today, describes the movement or functions of prana. They may be called the energetic winds. So apana vayu is the name given to the wind that governs elimination and downward movement. This is the one we worked with today. And samana vayu is connected with the absorption of food as well. So chakras are given to centers that collect and transmit energy, and healthy function of the chakras are said to relate to digestion, particularly the Manipura chakra. So if you could do a themed class or a workshop class on gut health, and even if you've got an interest in nutrition, that you could take that further. But you can, if you're someone like myself, I love the subtle body anatomy. I love working with the nadis and the vayus and the chakras. These are the ones you would work with, and you could do a practice around these, around Manipura chakra, Apana vayu, Ida nadi, and work it as this is a workshop, or this is a practice specifically to help aid gut health. So yoga is alchemic. There's no doubt about it. It's so healing. It's so amazing. But if you know what to do with it, you've got the tools and you apply it, it can be even more magical. So in addition, Ayurveda addresses digestion too, and most of you guys, I think all of you guys actually, yeah, all of you guys are aware of Ayurveda and the foundation of the general health and the subtle body digestive fire, Agni, because I speak about it a lot. So yoga can aid digestion, elimination, and bloating by increasing the circulation and energy to these areas. And it works at a deeper energetic level. So it stimulates the energy systems or meridians of the body. So for some of you yin yogis, you can work the stomach meridians as well. So the lower meridians would be something you could do. You could do a morning practice of a tantric practice working with the vayus, and then lunchtime do something to do with gut health. In the afternoon, do yin and work with the lower body meridians. There you go. I've just created a workshop for you. But yeah, that would be a brilliant one. So it would be mental health and gut health workshop, which how many people in the world could do with that right now? So you've got the knowledge and you've got the tools. It's just getting everything together, putting it together, and then making it yours. Okay. So it's working with the meridians. You can choose asanas that stimulate the stomach, the small intestine, large intestine, the liver meridians as well. We can create harmony and balance within the body by aiding digestion and bloating. So coming into the pranavayus and digestion. So this is me tying in the vayus from earlier, speaking about digestion and then calling it back in. So the pranavayus are, they describe the movements or functions of prana. And as we said earlier, there's 5 types of vayus, and they all should be in balance for optimum health, okay? So the 2 that relate closely to digestion are apana vayu, which covers elimination and downward movement, and samana vayu, connected to the absorption of food. So earlier, remember we said the main vayus and the most important vayus in the tantric practices is apana vayu and pran vayu. So that you're trying to gather them together and you're creating this power behind the navel point, rudrani. But if you're working with digestion, you want to work with samana, which is like the bringing balance in, and apana. Okay, and these would be as well as being good for the digestion, working with apana and samana. I would say don't work, samana wouldn't be one that you would work with pregnancy, because you don't want to eliminate the baby there. It's like it's about, you would work with apana. This is like really soothing the pelvic bowl, and like lots of pregnant ladies suffer with digestive issues and constipation. So apana vayu is the vayu that you would work with that sort of thing, and also postnatally as well. Okay, so Apana vayu is situated in the pelvic floor and its energy pervades the lower abdomen. So the flow of Apana vayu is downwards and out, and its energy nourishes the organs of digestion, reproduction, and elimination. It governs the elimination of all substances from the body, carbon monoxide, urine, stools. And Samana vayu, it's situated in the abdomen, with its energy centered in the navel, and the flow of it moves from the periphery of the body to the center. It governs the digestion and assimilation of all substances, food, air, experiences, emotions, and thoughts. So you would, another one, if you were, some of you Ayurvedic yogis, which is most of you actually, you could, that would be a pitta practice as well. You would be working like with as a pitta, because you're wanting to build the digestive fire too. So let's look at chakras and digestion. Manipura chakra, it's connected to the element of fire, and as such, the physical anatomy of the stomach, pancreas, and the small intestine. So the fire energy of this chakra is represented in the heat and the transmutation that occurs in the digestion of food. So issues with this chakra are associated with digestive issues. The Manipura chakra is typically correlated with digestive health. But let's think about how all chakras can have an influence on healthy digestion. So the root chakra, Manipura chakra, can inspire eating whole foods and foods found in nature. So this is like the groundingness of it. The Svadhisthana chakra, second chakra, can relate to hydration for removal of toxins. The solar plexus, the Manipura chakra, reminds us to maintain a healthy digestive fire, Agni. And the Anahata chakra can encourage fermented foods and probiotics. And Vishuddha chakra, this encourages mindful eating. And then we have the third chakra, Ajna chakra. It inspires healthy mental balance through stress reduction and emotional health. And the crown chakra. This inspires maintaining connection of body, mind, and soul. So you could do full chakra balancing, but relate it directly to digestion. So I just feel that you were thinking, what the hell is she doing showing us pictures of intestines? What's that got to do with things? So, but gut health is something that's really, really important, especially just now. So from an Ayurvedic perspective, so most of you guys have studied this or gone over this with me, but I'm just going to, this is relevant to digestion. So digestive health is the basis for everything. So it's not what you eat, it's what you digest that's important. So Ayurveda describes digestion as a sacred fire or Agni. So the fire is said to transmute food into energy for the body, mind, and spirit. So the condition of this fire is central to our health on all levels. So this is tejas. Remember, we're speaking about how Vata is related to prana, which is the vayus. Well, pitta is related to tejas, and tejas is related to that the Agni. Okay, so we need to think about this fire central to our health on all levels. So types of foods, the time we eat. So as I said, 12 till 2 is when we should really have our big meals. Portions, respect for a particular body type. So eating according to your dosha and your body constitution is all prime consideration. So But then this is the thing, if you have too much of something, it can give you an imbalance. So you might be vata, and I've found when I was really doing so much vata balancing stuff that I became really like lethargic, not really even uglier than usual like that. But you know, I became really lethargic and you know, and I realized that actually, and I get really sinusy. So I've still got a little bit of a Catholic imbalance because I'm very Vata, and I was like so wanting to balance my Vata to help me sleep as well because of my menopausal symptoms, and that I've given myself a Catholic imbalance by working with too much Catholic practices as well, restorative and yin. And so I've brought the fire back in. So to help with a Catholic imbalance, you have to bring the fire in, bring in the pitta. So I'm bringing in some, you know, some spicy stuff, some more movement, things that create fire. Which normally you wouldn't say would be a good thing to do if you're a Vata, but I'm a Vata, so that needs a Vata with a bit of a Kaphic imbalance. So listening to your body, understanding what it needs, but to an understanding that everything fluctuates and changes according to the gunas and prakriti. So by just eating the same foods and going, right, I've got it sussed, you'll never have it sussed, because you could be eating the right foods for your dosha, but there could be things going on for your life or people around you or mind stuff or stuff coming up. You know, there could be other things that you need to incorporate that need to have the balance too. So it's not just about what you eat either. So it's about the assimilation and the digestion of everything, not just your food. And that's tejas. It's not just about being able to do a poo in the morning, okay? But that's helpful too, okay? There's too much poo chat today. I don't know why. Okay, so this is a doctor, an Ayurvedic doctor recommends that next time you sit down to eat, follow these simple steps to stoke your digestive fire. So take a few seconds to become aware of your digestive fire and assess your level of hunger. Can you feel your digestive fire blazing? Can you sense that the digestive fire is ready to accept your offering of food? Some people just eat for the sake of eating because, oh, it's midday, that's lunchtime, or oh, it's dinner time, I should eat. But your body might be going, no, I've still got food in there from a couple of hours ago. So look at the food you're offering. Is it pleasing? Is it wholesome? Will it leave you feeling satisfied, light, and energetic? So my cooker blew up during moon practice. I was doing a really energetic moon practice, walked into my kitchen, and a huge bang and a flash of light came from my oven, and the element blew in my cooker. So I've been eating mushy food for the past week. I'm looking forward to some crunchy food, crunchy hot food. So just thought I'd share that with you. Speaking about food. So are you in a quiet and reverential state of mind, undistracted, focused on the amazing alchemical act of nourishing yourself? Because sometimes, you know, like I know that some of you guys work really hard as well. And you know you've got healthy food, but because you've got so much to do, are you eating and thinking and trying to multitask all at the same time? And perhaps you might be. I'm not pointing any fingers or anything, but yeah, so it's about being mindful and present with your food, because I've Reiki my food. With my slow cooker, I've put all the Reiki symbols, and I put symbols and it's like a chalkboard. So I write Reiki symbols and lovely words. So the food that I cook, I'm hoping that the symbols and the nice words are infused into my cooking. But yeah, so what you put into your food. So if you're cooking something you're not really very happy, and then you're got not good stuff going on in your head, and you're eating, and as healthy as it can be, it's not the same. So it's about nourishing your food, nourishing yourself with food in a mindful way. Just because you've made yourself a nice wee salad, but if you're eating it on, on the hoof, it's not going to be the same. So pause for a moment to center yourself in this awareness and take a deep breath and enjoy. Okay, that's where we're at with that. So so the pran vayus, we've spoke about them today, or yet no, it's today, wasn't it? We're going to speak about what postures you can work with, so we know about what they do. So let's look at the asanas you can use for the vayus. Okay, so asana should maintain the center of energy in the navel. So this is according to Dr. David Frawley, and he's the man who wrote Yoga and Ayurveda, and he also wrote the Vedic astrology, Yoga and the Vedic astrology book as well. So all asana should maintain the center of energy in the navel, because the purpose of asana practice is to develop stability, samana, and calm on a physical level. So samana keeps all of the pranas in harmony and is responsible for their nourishment. So it makes you and your practice more sattvic. Okay, so udana, apana, ascending, the upward rising, vayu is, if you're wanting to work with that one, so what you're going to do is you're raising your arms up overhead is powered by udana. Inverted poses can increase udana dramatically as well, because these bring pressure. I spoke about udana earlier today. And so udana and apana. So udana is ascending and apana is descending. Sorry. So udana is the rising up and apana is the coming down. So if you're working with udana, you're rising up. If you're working with apana, you're coming down. So what increases udana decreases apana, okay, and vice versa. So you can work with these two. So raising arms up is udana, taking them down is apana. So to counter apana, you would work with udana poses. So inversions are the ones that work with udana. So they're not good for grounding you as such. So vyana is expansion and samana is contraction. So vyana is the force of the blood moving away from the heart, and samana is the blood returning to the heart. Okay, so what increases vyana usually decreases samana, and vice versa. Remember, vyana is basically your aura, your energetic field. It's the all-encompassing one. So samana is that one that keeps you. That's the one that you would work with twists. Okay, so what increases? So back bends are expanding and stimulated, and they're powered by vyana. And forward bends are contracting and calming, representing samana. And twists bring vyana and samana into balance. Okay. So there's more things on the vayus and what practices you should do, but I'm not going to go over and over them. How are we doing for time? Let's see. What's the time just now? So it's 4:20. Okay. So we've still got some stuff to work with. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop for a little 10-minuter. And then we're going to finish off the some of the subconscious, some of the mind stuff, or maybe not finish it off, but work a little bit more on coming further with the samskara stuff. And then we're going to prepare ourselves for your nidra. Okay, so you get a nice wee nidra at the end of the day. So let's have a little 10-minuter, and we'll come back here. What's the time? The time is 4:20. So so see you back here 4:30. I'm going to phone Kaya back, and she doesn't normally phone me, so I better phone her and see if she's okay. So I will see you back here in 10 minutes. Okay.